All right, I'm down here working on my arm. Let's say the big thing that's going on with my arm is it hurts to do this, to touch this little spot right here on my arm. It's almost numb, actually, extremely hot to touch. It is actually warm. These muscles right across here, visibly swollen. I can push and feel that it is tight, and there's a knot from right here to right here. Did acupuncture on those muscles. Acupuncture made it a little more sore. Can't say I got a lot of relief from it. So basic guidelines from what I've read are to kind of splint the wrist, wrap, heat, occasional ice, ibuprofen, that sort of thing on the elbow. I've done all of that, and I've trained already too, so I can actually put a little bit of pressure on this elbow, a little bit of a soft pad here. I did find with my E-stim machine last night that I've having some issues with my tricep back up under here. Basically, I can't flex it. So that gives me a good idea that there is something going on between the elbow and the neck. That is a big concern for me because today was squat and bench press day. And I do a lot of pressing. A lot of the bench press is actually designed like a punch. I can throw a punch like this just fine, but I can't twist my hand over, and that twist over is where the bicep, tricep, shoulder, and chest all connects and torques at the same time. And when you bench press, it's the same thing, and the bar is stuck, it's flush, but you are applying torque as you come off your chest with your chest, shoulders, and triceps, with your elbow rotating. Your elbow rotates when you bench press. That's where your torque comes from. If you want a stronger bench press, don't focus on your chest and your shoulders, focus on your triceps. That's where the torque comes from. I can flex this tricep as I'm punching with this hand. I can't with this one. I got the E-stim unit on for a couple hours last night. Provided quite a bit of relief just being able to have that muscle manually stimulated. Did the same thing today, put a bunch of extremely hot cream on it to get everything circulated nice and well. Took 400 milligrams of ibuprofen, 500 milligrams of Tylenol, actually beyond my limit, way more than what I usually take in a week. I took before a training session today. What I wanted to show you today was just something that I've picked up from some different people, and I think it will apply over into a lot of combat sports and injuries as well. One of the big things people worry about in powerlifting is grip strength. They're dropping the bar on a deadlift. You know, the same thing in strongman, whatever your events are, a lot of people will drop the bar. You start losing power once your hands begin losing power. You know, if you're grabbing something, you know, a judo, a throw, a takedown, you know, everything comes from your foot on the ground, your hips, that sort of thing. But it also comes from your hands not letting go once they grab on. It's the same way in strongman or powerlifting or anything else. If you're going to create speed and power, your hands have to be strong. People start losing their grip and they think they need to practice this crushing thing over and over and over. It actually gets worse. One thing they need to work on is relaxing that forearm. So I can work with my tricep with the TENS unit, foam rolling, things like that, smashing against a wall, on a lacrosse ball, a softball, things of that nature. But that doesn't solve the issue with my arm. The acupuncture hasn't solved it like I had hoped that it was going to. So I had to find another method. This is what I did today before squats. This is a piece of 2-inch thick cold rolled steel. 2.5, 3 feet long, something like that. And I've welded collars on this. These were some of my first homemade dumbbells that I made, so I could put plates on here and use those for dumbbells. Covered in spider webs now as well. I think it weighs 55 pounds. It is pretty heavy and ugly, but it's a great tool to have. You could make one a little bit smaller, and it would be a great tool to have. You make one even a little bit thinner as well. Great tool to have for the martial artist. You could use this anywhere. I use this on my arms, if I can get the microphone out of the way. I set this up on my arm before training and just rolled it up my forearm. It's quite a bit of a pressure, and I'm looking for any spot that gives a little bit of pain, and if I can hold it there for a minute, it usually gives me relief. And I found all kinds of spots before training, finding a few new ones right now. Because it's round, you can maneuver it. It's easier if you have someone else doing this for you and they can roll it up. But manually, you can hit those exact spots that hurt. Stop it right there. It's a little bit better, I think. Roll it up all the way up. And there's that muscle that's not being hit with the acupuncture. And I'm just rolling around. That's nice and painful. What I found is all the way up at the top, there was a trigger point that I hit that really set me on fire. When I left it there, right about in here, for about 30 seconds, the pain was almost gone. When I let off, holy goodness. That's where the bicep actually connects then into that forearm down there. I did do some biceps today at the end of my training, and having some issues contracting the bicep well still leads me to think that there's a nerve trapped in there, pinched, causing the pain. Woo, that rolled. Woo, that rolled back down. Anyway, I highly suggest having something like this. This can be used on hamstrings, on quads, shoulders, neck. If you have someone, whether you want to use it on your wife or that she wants to use it on you, a training partner, you can roll this on someone's neck, their traps, sitting, standing, low back, hamstrings, inside of the calves. All you have to do is be flexible enough to reach that area and just kind of roll it a little bit. Have a good place to keep it. So this is a great tool. I may throw this in the car and take it home, but I'm going to use this for a while, and I appreciate your help. If you have any more ideas, I'm all ears. I've got some pretty big ears. Talk to you later, brother.